I don't think I really need these. I don't think that I'm going to need any notes. I got them. Don't worry. I can read them. But I don't think I need them to tell you that that was an awful game. What do I need to say? What does anybody need to say? What other interpretation can there be other than, well, the REDBLACKS had a really awful game. Oh, yeah, no, they had a pretty terrible game. That's it. I mean, you click on, if that's all you're looking for, oh, did the REDBLACKS have a good game? No. See you in the next one. You want a more in-depth analysis? Okay, good team beat bad team. What is up, everybody? It is your local Ottawa fan. But I'm feeling more like an Ottawa fool for thinking that this team had a chance against Montreal. This game was a humble reminder of the pecking order in the CFL. Maybe this season will be different. And by different, I don't mean different. I mean, maybe we'll sneak into the playoffs. And this was a very humble reminder that when we get our rear ends handed to us royally in the playoffs, that's kind of what we need to be aiming for right now. I said before the season, though, and I'll continue to say it, I don't care if we got blown out by 40 in the Eastern Division semifinal, in the Western Division semifinal. I don't care. I just want to get there. It's been so long. It's been so long. You can't keep going through this. But this was a humble reminder. That's probably what will happen. There's a very good chance that if we make the playoffs, we will either go down honorably, maybe, in the division semifinal. And if we somehow win that game, we will get smoked in the division final. I guess we can go through the positives. Don't worry, it shouldn't take long. I thought Justin Hardy did have a good game. So I'm going to put some respect on the name. I thought he made some clutch plays when needed to. I thought he made some pretty big plays. I gotta say, Drew Dedmond. So nice to see him back to his old self, making those plays that you want to see him make. 100-yard ones. That's the thing. 101 yards to the house, and it's what? In a game where we lose by 26. An effort like that, and it goes to waste. But it does give me hope that, hey, maybe when we play a team that's not the Alouettes, maybe against, the Tiger Cats or the Elks, maybe he could make a few of those big plays, and that could be the difference maker. That could be the difference between us winning and losing. Between it being a close game to the end where Hamilton could steal a win, and nope, we're up by 10 now with like 2 minutes to go. And okay, put it in autopilot. Drew Brown took responsibility, I guess. Our second half was better than our first half. We got 20 points in a half. That's good, right? I mean, we allowed 30 points in the first half, but hey, in the second half, if you were just looking at the second half, we outscored them by 3. Instead of losing by 29, we lost by 26. That's got to count for something, right? Hey, at least it wasn't... we didn't get worse, I guess. I guess the positive I can say is we didn't get worse in the second half. We showed some improvement. Mind you, getting a single point, a rouge, all half, a rouge, for 2 quarters of football. It's pretty easy to improve on that. Honestly, the biggest positive that I can take away is that it's still early. That, hey, at the very least, this game isn't going to be the game where like, oh yeah, now that we've lost, we've missed the playoffs. This game isn't the game where it's like, oh, because of this play, we're like... we're done. No, we're still alive. I'm not going to hit the panic button yet. But I am going to say this. I'm hovering over it, I got it right here. I'm not pushing it. Panic button's here, but I'm not pushing it. But you bet I'm looking. I'm looking at it. They won the first game of the season. We've won the first game of the season in 2019 and 2021. They were awful seasons. Awful. So I'm not going to take one win at the start of the season and be like, oh, yeah, no, we're clearly a good team. Oh, but they've improved a lot. I've heard that, Helm. I've heard that, like, past 2 seasons. What was the improvement? Instead of being a 3-win team, we were a 4-win team. Ooh, maybe we'll be a 5-win team this year. Ho, ho, ho. No. The time for that is it's done. It's so beyond done. If we lose to Hamilton next week, I'm hitting the panic button. I'm saying, okay, it's time to do something. It's time to say to someone, to everyone, we need to shake things up. And I know that it sounds crazy to say after 3 weeks you should be hitting the panic button and shaking things up. But when you've missed the playoffs for 4 years, and Hamilton is a team that's either going to have an 0-3 or 1-2 record, you can't lose that game. You cannot lose that game. At home, you can't. Montreal made such short work of us. Yes, at the start of the game, the refereeing was very bad. The calls went against us. We challenged for PI and didn't get it. And then they on the next play, really, or I don't think it was the very next play, but it was quite shortly afterwards, they challenged for PI. And it looked like we did less than what they did. And yet their challenge counted. And they got an interception when we challenged for PI. So had it not been an interception, then we get the ball. It's just 7-0. Our drive is still alive. Okay, reset. Instead, they get the ball, and then with the PI, they're on our 1-yard line, and it was 14-0 like that. Like, you blinked, and it was 14-0. If you just took a little too long microwaving your popcorn, you would sit down and it was already a 2-score game for Montreal, and it didn't get any better. It did not get any better. I mean, I think we had 4 or 5 turnovers. 4 or 5 turnovers. A few deep in their territory where it's like, okay, we're driving. Can we do something? Oh, no, we can't. We were missing field goals, which was very, very, very uncharacteristic for Ward. He had one, now thankfully a penalty kind of made it not matter, but he hit one off the uprights, and then he had a chip shot go wide. Everyone, again, except for like Dedmond and Hardy, in my opinion, everyone had a bad game. The second half was better, at least. I would have liked to see us be a little bit more aggressive. We were down by so much. We got to their 25 twice, and we lined up for a field goal both times. I don't care if it's 3rd and 15, 3rd and 25 at their own 25. Like, when you're down by 19 plus in the third quarter, you go for that. You go for it. Oh, like, who cares if you're down by like 26 or 23? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Just go for it because, but I get it. I mean, I don't know what to say. Philpott and Fajardo made us look like children. And so many times, wide open space, constantly burning us. It felt like we barely touched the ball in the first half. They would get the ball, score, stop us, or interception, or fumble, or turnover. If it wasn't a 2-and-out, it was turnover. There was a time where the first downs were like, I think 8, 9, or 10. I don't know. I don't remember the number, but even if it's the lowest one, I'm pretty sure it was more than 8. I think it was at least 9, but I think it was more. Where they had like 9 or 10 first downs, and we had 0. None. They were practically getting enough first downs that they could have started at their 1-yard line, gone down the field, scored a touchdown, and we still didn't have a single one. And that carried through the first half. 30 points to 1 point in a single half. You don't need to watch the second half. You don't. Was there anybody who thought, oh, you never know? Even when we made it 30-8, was there anybody who's like, oh, you never know. You never know. And from there, Devontae Dedmon made it 37-8. 37. I thought it was 30 because the play before Dedmon returned it to the house, Montreal scored a touchdown, and the next drive, Montreal scored a touchdown, 44. Like it didn't even matter. It was one of those things where the only way we could have even had a hope or a chance is if we did what we did in the second half in terms of scoring and also shut them out. We were never going to do that. And we still only finished with 21 points. It's a lot harder for me to analyze this game because, like, what do you want me to say? Yeah, they dropped 47, was it? 47 to 21, was it? 47 to 21? 26 points? They dropped 47 on our sorry. Like, they dropped 47 on our sorry excuse of a team. I get that it's week 2. I get that, hey, we still might be decent. I get that Drew Brown, new quarterback. Got to get used to the system. We're playing against the defending Grey Cup champions. They aren't exactly going to be pushovers. But we're supposed to be a team built on our defense anyway. 47 points. I get it, though. That's the worst part is I get it, though. Because I can't really blame our defense too much when they play the entire game. Because our offense is handing the ball over. 2 and out, turnover. We barely saw our offense in the first half. Like, I would love it if somebody made a supercut of the Ottawa REDBLACKS offense in the first half, just to see how hilariously short that video would be. It would be short, I can tell you that much. I mean, I get that not every game is going to be perfect, but this was bad. This is also the second game in a row that we've lost by 26 to Montreal. Last time we played them was 29-3 for Montreal. So they've averaged a 26-point victory margin in our past 2 games from the last game of last season and our first game of this season. You know what I think this is what I'm going to say is the biggest positive that I can take away from this game. There are kids who are in school right now in the great city of Ottawa. School's out for them, a lot of them, on the 30th of June. We'll have a game against the Tiger Cats that day, but that will be officially when their summer break has started. They will go their entire summer break without a single REDBLACKS Alouettes game because the next time we face them is in week 16, 14th game of the season for them for sure, I think for us. So by then, it'll at least be a little clearer what each team is playing for, and that game will be in Ottawa. And then our last game against them is the second last game of the season. So hopefully by then, Montreal's already clinched first in the East and are resting their starters. And if we are still alive in the playoff race, we can put it to work and, hey, hopefully we can beat a backup Montreal team. I mean, we did it in the preseason, barely, but we did it. We are still yet to beat an Eastern team since, I want to say, October of 22? October of 2022. You can't let that go any longer. You need to end that streak this month against Hamilton. It can't go past that. You cannot let it go into July. I don't know what there is to say. I don't know what you want me like. Okay, you want me to try and read these notes? Our defense folds on the first drive, and it's 75 yards in under 4 minutes. Immediately there's an interception. 14-0, 2 and out. Our defense is completely gassed because it was an immediate interception and then a 2 and out. And thankfully we force a field goal. It's only 17-0 in like the first quarter. 3 straight scoring drives for Montreal. Oh, wow. We nearly get it picked, but thankfully it deflects to one of our players. I think this was a Hardy play. And that was our first down of the game. It was 17-0, and then we got a first down. What do you need to say? What do you need? 17-0. 17-0. And we didn't even have a first down until then. That's when we got a rouge. We're on the board. 17-1. I mean, we got a first down and a 15-yard penalty to get us close to field goal range and then fumbled immediately. There's one note. No one on defense could stop Fiardo. We had like 3 or 4 misses. And again, we somehow forced a field goal, so it's only 20-1. The first half was not over at that point. Last game, we only held them to 19. 20 in the first half. fumble again. And they immediately get a touchdown, 27-1. Dedmon looked good still. And Montreal goes for it on third down. When they get the ball back, we stop them. Doesn't matter. We just don't do anything. 30-1. Got a decent drive going. Doink. Ackland gets a touchdown. So, hey. At least the first drive of the second half is going well. It's only 30-8. Multiple time count violations. Our offense looked better, though. We go for, we get to their 22, like I said. We go for a rouge. We go for a rouge. We went for 3, but we got a rouge. We get to 3rd and 10. Kick a field goal on their 19. And then they get the touchdown. And Devontae Dedmon comes up huge. And then get another touchdown. And then a couple of field goals. Ends the game. Yeah, late field goal makes it 21 points. Look, what else is there to say? Did you hear the words that I said in that order? How pathetic that sounds. How immediately they destroyed us. And how they just kept their foot on the pedal. The best thing we can do is reset. The best thing we can say is, you know what? Every team has bad games. I don't believe any team has ever gone undefeated to win the Grey Cup. So every team, the good and the bad, have had that game. That was just bad. Okay, we got rid of it early. But if we don't win next game, yeah, no, we need to have a decent season. We need to beat the beatable teams. And today, Montreal looked pretty unbeatable. One and one. Hey, at least we're 500. 500 going into week 4. In Ottawa, that is a rare thing. So, you know what? We better beat Hamilton. That's all I can say. And as always, go Ottawa.